A very good afternoon from the Oatridge Campus of Scotland's Rural College, and a warm welcome to this live event for our animal care courses. And thank you all for joining us today. My name is Graham West, and I'm the Marketing and Student Recruitment Officer here on the Oatridge Campus. Format for today will be as follows, but first a few quick housekeeping notes. We can't hear you, but hopefully you can hear us. Please do use the Q&A bar on the right-hand side to ask any questions. And note also there's a short delay between us talking and you hearing, so please bear that in mind. The event is being recorded and I'll share a link in a day or so to allow you to view it at a later date and to ask any further questions should you wish. So the format would be I'm going to introduce a short recorded presentation from Helen Heggie, one of our animal care lecturers, and after that we will get into a Q&A session, so thank you for that. Okay, ready to go. Thank you, Gemma.
Hello and welcome to SRUC. This short presentation, we will look at the animal care courses which are delivered at the SRUC Oatridge Campus. If you have any questions throughout this presentation, jot them down and there'll be a short question and answer session at the end with members from the animal care team. The first course that we'll look at is the further education course of the National Certificate in Animal Care. Applications for this course should be submitted through SRUC. Students are required to have a minimum of 3 National 4s to include English and Maths and 1 National 5 science subject at C or above. To strengthen your application, a minimum of 1 week of work experience in industry is required, with a reference provided from your work experience provider. Students who don't meet the entry requirements are advised to either top up their National 4s and 5s, or they can also look at 2 courses which are also delivered through SRUC. These are the Principles of Animal Care or the NC Introduction to Animal Care. Information on these courses can be found in the main SRUC website. The National Certificate course is set at SQA level 5 and 6. It is a full-time course and students are required to be able to commit to 35 hours of study per week, 9 AM to 4:30 PM, Monday to Friday. And there's also practical activities which are scheduled on a rotational basis. So the course is delivered by a blended learning style. This means that there's weekly timetable theory classes delivered on campus, but also some of the units are delivered online. As mentioned a few seconds ago, there are timetabled practical activities which take place on site at the Oatridge campus on a rotational basis. And please note, students on the National Certificate course are required to work practical work at the weekends from 9 till 12, as noted on a rotational basis. The NC course is 50% theory classes and 50% practical activities. Some examples of the modules that are delivered or the units that are delivered on the course are small animal feeding, safe working practices, anatomy and physiology of mammals, animal accommodation and handling, reptile and amphibian care, and ornamental fish care. The practical activities that take place on the National Certificate level are animal care duties. So this involves husbandry of the animals that are kept on site on campus. So these are the small animals that are housed at the animal care unit and the larger animals which are housed up in the farm area. As well as duties, students will also do practical work on the commercial farm, which is part of their NC unit, and the farm is situated near the main SRUC Oatridge campus. Students will also have scheduled handling classes with lecturers showing the sufficient handling techniques for dogs and for small mammals. Moving on to the higher education courses, so at SRUC Oatridge we run the Higher National Certificate in Animal Care and the Higher National Diploma. The application for the Higher National Certificate level, your application is submitted through UCAS. Entry requirements for this course are 2 Highers to include biology with mathematics or English at a C or above. Applicants that don't have these subjects at higher level must have them at the National 5 ATC or equivalent. Students who successfully achieve the National Certificate in Animal Care will be considered for progression to HNC. The Higher National Diploma course, students can only access this course if they have been successful at achieving the Higher National Certificate in Animal Care. As with the National Certificate course at HNC level, students are required to have at least a minimum of 1 week's work experience in industry with a reference provided. The course information for the higher national levels are these courses are set at SQA level 7 and 8. Both are full-time courses, again requiring students to be able to commit to 35 hours of study per week, 9 AM to 4:30 PM, Monday to Friday. These courses are also delivered by blended learning with weekly timetable theory classes on campus and some units delivered online. Timetabled practical activities all take place on site at the Oatridge campus on a rotational basis. At HNC level, the course is made up of 70% theory work with 30% practical work. At HND level, 90% theory work with 10% practical. Examples of unit on the HNC course, we have small animal health and disease, animal welfare, small animal nutrition, animal behaviour, companion animal anatomy and physiology, and small animal husbandry. HND examples of the units that are delivered at this level are ecology, drugs and medicine, small animal parasitology, facility management, wildlife, and there's also a livestock unit. The livestock unit is the practical work that the students will complete on the commercial farm again, which is situated near the main SRUC Oatridge campus. Some useful information for prospective students for both levels at NC and at HN fees and funding. So at NC level, we have the education maintenance allowance or the further education bursary. At HN level, eligible full-time students that are studying at higher national level should be applying to SAS for fees and funding. A student loan is available through SAS to help students with living costs. SAS should be contacted before HN students start their course. At the SRUC Oatridge campus, there is on-site accommodation available for students to book when attendance for practical sessions is required. Information can be found on the SRUC website. There are campus buses which run from Livingston and Uphall and Linlithgow Monday to Friday, morning and evening. Please note that campus buses do not run at the weekend. Further information on fees or funding, accommodation or travel can be found at the main SRUC website. We'll now see some students on animal care.
Hi, I'm Rebecca and I'm studying animal care at SRUC Oatridge College. This is our small mammal unit, and behind me we have the chinchillas, and then to the right of me we have the baby guinea pigs, and then we have the rabbits, and they all get outdoor areas, and they also have like wee things for enrichment in their enclosures. They get fed, they get water, and they get handled quite often, so they're really good. Just over here we have the big guinea pigs named Tonks, Lily, Luna, Remus and Molly, and they're named after the Harry Potter characters. We also have Dagoos, and they have an outdoor area too, and they've got lots of hides and tunnels and stuff in their enclosure. And then lastly here we have our hens, and they have an outdoor enclosure there too, but they're just inside at the moment because the weather is quite bad.
So we're in the reptile room right now. This is our royal ball python Arthur. We just make sure that the temperatures are all like how they should be. So there's the basking, high and then low. We make sure that the papers aren't dirty or wet. If it is, we take it out and put new paper in. We check the water, well, we empty it out, give it a scrub because over time it can grow sort of like algae sort of stuff and it goes gross. So we scrub that out and then refill it and put it back in. Then we have our bearded dragon Spyro. Same thing, check the temperature, change the paper if we have to, and then refill the water, scrub that out, and then put it back. We have our Berber skunk, he'll be hiding. And then we have our insects, which is very important for reptiles. So we have our small hoppers in here, and we have our morio worms. Again, just the same for all of the insects. And then it's the cockroaches and the locust. And then over here we have our two tortoises, Michelle and Nina. The food, we get fresh stuff from out the front. They really like dandelion leaves, roses and rose hips specifically. And then we have our other snake here, Cheeto, a corn snake. She's sleeping. We have Pedro, the crested gecko. It's usually chilling in that corner. So we change the water, give that a scrub, put it back. Then they get the rapace, which is a powder you add water to, and it gives them all the nutrients and vitamins that he needs. And then he also gets his fruit pot. And we also check the humidity because the natural habitat is rainforest. So with the water bottle, we just give it a spray. And then we have our leopard gecko, Lola. Again, just spot clean, pick out anything that needs to be taken out, change the water, check the temperature.
Hi, my name's Amy, and we are in the rodent room. So this is Hazel, our female hamster. She'll be hiding. This is the female mice. They're very small. These are our male mice. So we have Rowan and we have Birch. These are two male mice. Then this is our male hamster. He is called Sergio. And this is Fred and Barney. This is a gerbil, two gerbils. And then this is Chip, another gerbil as well. So these are all our rodents.
Thank you for listening to the presentation. We'll now meet some of the animal care staff from the teaching department who will answer any questions that you have on the presentation.
No, would help if I unmuted myself. Thank you very much, Helen, for that. We've got a bunch of questions that have come in through the registration period for this event, so I'll just get into some of those, and hopefully I've got Helen and I've got Isla, and I thought I had Barbara Ann, but she's gone, but never mind.
No, I think you should only have myself and Barbara Ann, Graham.
Barbara Ann, right, okay.
Aye.
Yeah, okay.
Hi everybody, I'm Helen.
Hi, okay, so let's get into some questions then. Helen, first one is from Laura, and she's asking, do the students have access to larger animals on campus?
We have a few larger species housed up at the farm area, so we've got some goats, some sheep and some alpacas.
Okay, so that gives an advantage over some other places where they've only got access to the smaller animals. That's useful to know, thank you. Fiona has asked, how often do the students get to go on field trips, and what sort of places do they get to go?
well, the NC and the HNC courses, we don't generally do field trips because of the volume of theory study that's required. The HNDs sometimes go on field trips depending, you know, what's available at the time, kind of thing.
Okay, thank you for that. Next one comes from Alan. Do I need any specialist clothing?
Yep, PPE is required for the course, so when students are offered a place on the course, there's information provided to you on what you would need to either purchase before the course starts.
Okay, thank you. Next we have a question from Brian, is asking what further study options might be available after HND.
There's the SRUC run the Applied Animal Science degree, and we've got some students who are, I think they started, Barbara, I'm hoping you can back me up with this, I think they started in year 3 of that course, and also obviously other establishments will allow you to enter either at year 2 or year 3 of a degree programme, depending on what it is that you're studying.
Yeah, I think it's the same with the applied animal science. So there's the scope to enter at year 3, but students can choose to enter at year 2 if they want. If you know, they may feel that they're going to gain more from having an extra year of further teaching, so they can do that if they want as well.
Okay, thank you, Barbara Ann. Olivia has asked, do you recommend any pre-course work that I can do to gain experience prior to coming on the course?
Well, it depends obviously what level you're looking at entering, but it was mentioned on the presentation there's another 2 SRUC courses, which are, I'm just double checking the correct names. So there's the Principle of Animal Care and the NC Introduction to Animal Care. And I'm pretty sure, I think these are both distance learning courses, I'm pretty sure. So that's something that potentially you could look at. The information on these courses can be found on the main SRUC website.
Yeah, thank you, Helen. Yeah, the Principal Animal Care one for sure is an online course. If you are still at school as a pupil, the course is actually free. So if you are a young person, then it would be useful for you to talk to your teachers, and you can apply for that through the website also. Okay, so now we've got one from Gavin. I think you mentioned this in one of the slides, Helen, but Gavin's asking, theory is around 70% of the course on the NC. Is that about right?
It's 50% theory at NC level and
right.
50% practical, and 70% theory on HNC level and 30% practical, and I think it's about 80% and 20% at HND. So okay. The further up you go, the less practical work there is, if that makes sense.
Okay, here's one from Susan, quite a direct one in terms of future careers. Could I use an HNC to get into the guide dog training industry?
I think I've been asked that before, and I'm not too sure, to be honest with you. You would need to contact the Guide Dog Society themselves to find out basically what they accept.
Okay, Susan can pick up on that herself. Okay, Brian has asked, can I use an animal care qualification to move into vet nursing?
Yep, I'm happy to have quite a few students that either NC level or HNC level progress on, or apply on to other courses. So either animal care assistant courses or veterinary care assistant courses, and or the veterinary nursing courses.
Okay, thank you for that. I think actually that's pretty much all the questions I've had through my own email through the registration for the event. I don't know, maybe Helen, you might want to expand a little bit on, I know we get asked this at school events, and animal care is a very, very popular subject area. I get asked lots of questions about it. In terms of the possible career opportunities with an animal care qualification, what sort of areas would people be able to get into?
The animal care industry, obviously, it's quite wide range, so you can have specific careers such as laboratory technicians. Obviously, you know, we've got animals that are used in research, etc., that have to be taken care of. So there's careers at that side, or there's zoo work, farm work. You know, there's a wide range there. A lot of our students also go on to do zoology and ecology and things like that as well.
Do many students end up in animal rescue, that type of area, or?
They sometimes will go on, you know, to be kennel assistants and things like that, and a lot of the rescue centres, etc. And some of them might decide to, you know, progress on to do inspector work or things like that once they've got some kind of time under their belt.
And I see quite a lot of the these big chains that people like Pets R Us and others have got quite a few animals, and some of them are setting up small vet practices within these big shops. I suppose that's a possible career path as well.
Well, the veterinary surgeries that are in these stores tend to be franchise places, and they tend to take on veterinary nurseries until they're established, and then become a training practice. And then they're at they've got the ability to take students on.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Okay, well, looks like we're just about done with the questions. I'll leave the chat open for a minute or two, just to see if any late questions come in. So while I do that, I'll just thank you for your presentation. Very thorough and interesting. We would recommend, whilst this is an online event, we are having 8th, 9th and 10th of November. Here's the plug for our on-campus open days. So this next month we will be having our on-campus events, and that would be an opportunity to come and visit the campus and get a presentation from the lecturers and have a look around. So I would sincerely recommend that to anyone who's keen to come along. You can book online on our website. It's just SRUC/open days, and there will be a booking form pops up when you look at all the different days and subjects that are available. So thanks everyone for attending. I hope you found it useful, and remember please that I'll send attendees an email in a day or so to review the event at your leisure. You may come up with some further questions, and you'll have my email address, so please do send them in. I also include a link to a short survey, which I'd appreciate you taking a couple of minutes just to complete for me. It's always good to get feedback. And other than that, thank you very much indeed for your attendance. Stay safe, have a nice day, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you.